Hello everyone. I wanted to start out a new series on my Feng Shui channel, and that is traveling. Some of you guys know me pretty well and you know that I love to travel and see the world, see new experiences, and a huge part of being able to travel has been through understanding Feng Shui and how I can actually apply my goals and my dreams and my ambitions into my home and into my space so that I can fulfill them and they can become totally possible. So basically for the last week and a half, I have been exploring Portugal, and I'm here in Lisbon, and I have done castle hopping, I've done tuk-tuk tours, I've eaten a lot of incredible food, and so I'm going to share with you in this episode how lovely and beautiful Sintra is and all the beautiful castles that I got to see with one of my girlfriends, Magali, and it was just incredible to be able to drop into some really deep, ancient, beautiful magic and history all the way into the 8th century when some of these castles were actually built and began to become built. And the other thing that really stood out for me in visiting some of these ancient buildings is that there's so much Feng Shui that's actually incorporated in them. The way that they placed their furniture, the way that they placed the actual castles and the directions and how they set them up. Feng Shui was actually originally utilized for the emperors and the empresses to reign in their power. It's no coincidence and obvious to me as to why these temples were built circular. They were facing the south or the east, and really making sure that these homes were supporting the rulers of the country at the time. So I want to give you guys a little look on these beautiful castles and share with you my experience. And don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, as well as this coming month I have my June masterclass, which will be taught on how to use Feng Shui for wealth and prosperity. So please make sure to sign up for that. I will put the link in bio. Let's go hang out in Sintra.
Sintra makes for the perfect day trip from Lisbon. With the train, you can be there in around 40 minutes from Rocio Station. If you've been missing some big green spaces in your visit to Lisbon, Sintra will warm your heart and feed your nature-loving soul. Sintra in western Portugal is located about 15 miles northwest of Lisbon. Sintra is gorgeously situated on the northern slope of the rugged Sintra Mountains. An area of former royal summer residences, Sintra possesses a beauty that was celebrated by Lord Byron in his poem Childe Harold's Pilgrimage, and English author Robert Southey referred to Sintra as the most blessed spot on the whole inhabitable globe.
Hello, beautiful humans. Well, today me and my girl Magali decided we are going to go to the beautiful nature here in Sintra in Lisbon, and we took a beautiful train ride, which is about 40 minutes from Rocio to Sintra, and we just definitely arrived at the right time, because if you come here at the wrong time, you are going to be waiting an hour or more for tickets to come into the palace. So we got here like right at 9:40. So highly recommend taking any train prior before that if you are going to be in Lisbon and you're heading to Sintra. It is amazing. I have had so many days of cities, from New York to Lisbon, which is a much bigger city than I even anticipated. So I needed some nature so bad, and I feel so at peace and so calm being here. It is definitely very moist here. There's lots of cloud coverage, it's sprinkling a little bit. I did not plan my dress and outfit accordingly. So highly recommend bringing a good jacket and something that might be a little waterproof, because it's definitely cold up here. So we're gonna go through the first palace and kind of see where the day takes us, because there's a lot of things to explore here. All right, we have arrived at the Policia Nacional de Pena, and it is stunning, gorgeous. So incredible to be at a castle and just feel the history and all of the beautiful architecture that is created from, you know, these buildings and palaces. It's pretty phenomenal to just think that we, human species, built this at one point, and the detail and the infrastructure of it all is just immaculate. So we're gonna go into the palace now. We're mostly gonna be exploring around the exterior of it, as we got a hint from our local tour guide that that was the best way to see most of the actual grounds and the botanical gardens. So here we go. Oh my God. Just take me into the courtyard, darling.
On one of the mountain peaks is the Penne Palace, a 19th century castle, partly an adaptation of a 16th century monastery and partly an imitation of a medieval fortress, which was built for Queen Maria II by her young German consort, Ferdinand II. On the extensive grounds of the castle, Ferdinand created the Parc de Pena, a series of gardens and walking paths that incorporated more than 2,000 species of domestic and non-native plants. The Penne Palace used to be a monastery, a small, quiet place for meditation, which housed up to 18 monks. After the Lisbon earthquake of 1755, it lay in ruins with only the chapel left standing. King Ferdinand II transformed the remains of the sanctuary into a palace with the help of a German architect.
This is the Queen's quarters. This is where she slept. We just took a nice, long, beautiful, gorgeous, stunning, extravagant, decadent, amazing walk through the trees and nature to go to the chalet where one of the queens, the king's second queen, had her home built right here because
oh my gosh, she immigrated to Boston at the age of 2.
Where was she from again? She was Swiss. So
but then she went to New York, to Boston,
and then she went to Boston,
and then Paris to complete her training.
But she wanted to have a Swiss house on the grounds here. So this is her house, and it was built with cork because cork is it holds insulation well, and it's also a good sound incubator because she was an opera singer. And so you can kind of see the way it was all built with cork, the type of bark. Honey, it's just so beautiful. Really stunning, very different, nothing like I've ever seen before.
The Countess of Edla is the mistress and the second wife of D. Fernando II, the owner of the palace. Conceived as a pleasure dwelling, the Countess's chalet follows the model of the Alpine chalets. A romantic garden surrounds the Countess's chalet, and one can discover it before seeing the chalet. Much of the chalet is made from cork to give the space an incredible orchestra of sound for the Countess of Edla, as she was an opera singer. From the chalet, you walk through the gorgeous Valley of the Lakes to catch a bus or take the hike to the next castle or into the main center of town.
Well, we pretty much toured the entire palace. Highly recommend maybe not going inside if you're not super into seeing the inside, because it's a long line. We were kind of advised not to do that. So anyways, we spent hours walking and climbing, and there's a lot of walking and climbing that happens when you come to the castles. There's 3 castles that we wanted to see, but there's no way we're gonna get through this all today. So I think we're gonna have to come back another day and see some of the other castles. It's just a lot. It's a lot to do in one day. So we're headed to center of town of Sintra to get a bite to eat, because it is time to feed my belly, and probably a glass of wine. Nagli Renee, what has been your experience of the palace today?
My knees!
It was beautiful. It was just stunning. You know, I felt very queenly.
We had some queen things to do.
Yeah, we did queen things today. And obviously, again, a lot of climbing. This is not for the faint of heart. No. You're going to be exercising. It makes you work for it.
Work for it.
Yeah.
The
it
queen
beautiful.
was working for
I worked for it today.
Also, I'm pretty sure she never left the castle because that would be a lot. That would have been a lot.
All right, let me spend the sunshine. You have to breathe in with me. Okay.
All right, so what just happened here is basically this wall is a runoff from the spring, so it's natural spring water here, and there's a legend that says it is also what kept the queen very fertile because she had 11 kids and she actually passed on her 12th one. So a lot of people say if you drink this water, it's fertility water and will bring many, many babies if you're looking to give birth. But my intention is to really bring more fertility into my business and into my experiences because I believe that you can bring fertility into any area of your life when you set the intention. So it's a beautiful wall and these colors are stunning. All right, everyone, I hope you enjoyed my little trip to Sintra and visiting the castles. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm going to be adding a lot more vlog travel content to my channel because it's kind of my life and it's just what brings me joy and lights me up, and I want to take you guys with me and also show you some of the things like buildings and structures and some things I notice on how Feng Shui is everywhere we look. It is in everything that we live, breathe, and do. So it's not always just focusing on our homes, it's focusing on our environment and the things that we aim to do in the world. So I'm out of breath climbing all the hills here in Portugal, but I will see you guys next week for another weekly Feng Shui Fridays.